My Little Troll Tale, The Sword and the Troll. Long, long ago, the trolls were ruled by a wise old wizard. He ruled well for many years, and all the trolls loved him. One morning, the old wizard woke up and thought, I'm getting too old for this ruling business. I'd like to find someone to take my place so I can retire and catch up on my reading and gardening. So the old wizard got busy and made a plan for finding a clever troll to replace him as ruler of all trolls. One fine spring day, the old wizard gathered all the trolls around him. Here is my plan to find a wise troll to take my place as your ruler, he said, uncovering a sword that was caught fast in a heavy stone. Whoever is clever enough and wise enough to pull this sword from its magic stone will be ruler, he explained. The trolls tugged and pulled at the sword. Sure enough, it was stuck, and they knew it would take a very clever troll to figure out how to pull the sword free. Mighty Oakleaf tried to free the sword first. He was the strongest troll in the land. If I can't do it, no one can, he boasted. Oakleaf climbed onto the stone and grasped the sword with both hands. Oakleaf pulled with all his might, but the longer he pulled, the less energy he had. Finally, with one last tug, Oakleaf lost his grip and tumbled to the ground. Quicksilver was next to try. She was a bright young troll who loved to figure out problems and invent things. With her pen and paper, she scribbled and scratched lots of numbers and lines and arrows. Then Quicksilver hammered and drilled and tied knots until she had built an amazing contraption over the sword and the stone. She hooked a rope to the sword and turned a big crank. With a creak and a loud spring, the rope snapped and Quicksilver went flying into the air and landed in a soft patch of flowers. Day after day, trolls tried to pull the sword from the stone. No one was wise enough or clever enough to do it, though. One day, a little troll named Thimble was watching his father stitching in his tailor's shop. All at once, he had a great idea. Thimble found a long rope and ran to where the sword and the stone stood. I think I could pull the sword from the stone, he said. The other trolls laughed. Why, you're nothing but a child, they said. You can't be wise enough or clever enough to rule our land. The old wizard held up his hand and said, Any and all trolls may have a chance to pull the sword free. Thimble, what is your plan? A crowd began to gather as Thimble spoke of his plan. First, I'll need some help. Will someone help me reach the sword? Two trolls picked up Thimble and held him steady while he threaded his rope through the sword's hilt. Now we all need to take hold of the rope and pull as hard as we can, explained Thimble. Everyone in the land must pull together. And that's just what they did. Everyone from the oldest grandmother to the youngest baby troll held onto the rope and began to pull. Little by little, the sword began to come free of the stone. It was hard work, but Thimble called to the other trolls. It is working! It is working! You can do it! We can do it together! When the sword was pulled from the stone at last, the trolls of the land gathered around the Thimble to shake his hand and to tell him how clever and wise he had been, especially for someone so young. The wizard smiled a knowing smile and said, Thimble, you will make a good ruler for all the trolls. Please carry this sword as a symbol of your wisdom. Thimble couldn't believe the wizard had chosen him to be ruler. After all, the only thing that really freed the sword from the stone was hard work by trolls who were willing to pull together. If you like what you heard, don't forget to click like and subscribe. Thanks for listening.